All right, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar on CloudCheckr's custom reports, specifically the inventory reports. I'm going to give just a couple minutes here just for some more participants to join in, and then we'll jump right in. Okay, we got people entering in now. So thank you again for everyone for joining our webinar today on CloudCheckr custom inventory reports. I am Jason Thompson. I'm a customer success manager here at CloudCheckr. I'm joined by some of my colleagues from the CloudCheckr and NetApp team today, who will be assisting with various Q&A and any questions you may have. I will hold a Q&A at the end, so please feel free to use the Q&A function in Zoom to ask any questions as we go along, and we'll come back and answer them at the end. I will be doing a live demonstration of the report as well. All right. So get started. So CloudCheckr custom reports, the inventory reports give you a way to track your various resources using a number of different set filters. And then once you have those filters in place, you can utilize that to have a regular email cadence, be it a daily, weekly, or monthly report. This is available in both AWS and Azure. So let's, no further ado, we'll jump on in. All right, so we have two different ways to build these reports. So in the resources section of CloudCheckr, you'll see the custom reports right at the top of the page, or the menu rather. You can go through that way, and that's what we'll be covering first. And you can just set your filters that way, and then you can pull up the actual report later or just set it up to be emailed. The other option is that you can go into any list report. So if you look at, in this case, I have EC2 referenced here. So we have the summary and list report, and every resource will have that option. So you can just go into the list report and build out the filter right there and test it as you go. So one of the first things to do, obviously, is to pick that resource that you would like to see. So in this case, I have EC2 selected, but obviously the options will vary. The filters and columns and so on will vary depending on what resource you pick. And you can use multiple filters to set up your report. So I set up two for this example here. So I first wanted to filter by our environment dev tag. All right, so I selected from the filters tag, contains environment. And as I started typing, it auto-filled for me. So it made sure that I grabbed something that was actually in the environment. And then the next filter I did was for looking for instance type being equal to a T3 small. So once those are saved, they'll appear on the left-hand side of the page, see in the blue box here. After that, you have a checkbox for matching filters. So you can have it either, it needs to match both filters or all filters, or just contain any of the filters we've selected. Next, you can add columns. And during the demonstration, I'll cover some of the different options here. As we scroll through, you'll be able to see, it's unique to each resource, the different columns that we can populate. Then we can do our sort by options. So you can have this, go by, in the case of EC2 instance, whether, you can do it by utilization, account name, and so on. And you can set it to be an ascending or descending list. And then we also have an option of building a summary chart. From here, you'll chart included, and you'll see the visual of this when I do the demo. It'll provide a chart based on whatever parameter you pick. And again, that's going to, as all these do, vary by resource. All right, so after you've saved the filter, you can view it by going to custom reports and then selecting the resource type that you want. And then the list of the filters as you named them will appear there, and you can select them, pull them back up, run the report, or adjust the email configuration. Okay, so now using the list view functions exactly the same way. You'll just do it from the actual report itself. So it gives you the option to test the report as you go and make sure you're getting the results you want in the format you want. That's my preferred way, but the actual building of the report is done the same. Just as a side note as well, Azure can only use the list report to build the custom report. They don't have the custom report builder. So just a little quirk, just something to know. All right. And with that said, we will jump to a demo. So I will stop sharing and move over into CloudCheckr. All right, so from the CloudCheckr main page, you'll go into the left-hand side under resources, and we're going to go to custom reports. You can see we have a custom report builder, and on this particular demo account, there is a number of EC2 reports already built. As I mentioned, you can view them right here. We'll start from scratch. So entering the custom report builder. Just get loaded in, and we will select a resource to work with. All right. You can see we have a variety of options here. And we'll just go with EC2. All right, so now to build out our filters. So being EC2, these are the options available. You can go by utilization, account name, age since launch, availability zone, EBS cost, and so on. We'll go take a glimpse of the whole list here. So I am particularly going to pick tag as my first option. And we get options of contains or does not contains. This will change depending on what filter category you've picked. If it's utilization, it'll be does not equal or is equal or less than greater than. So I'm going to go with that environment tag. And we'll pick dev with capital D and apply. We'll do a secondary filter. And go with instance type. And I'm just kind of copying the model that we picked. T3 small. So you can put in multiple filters here. Now, in my particular example here, I want to match all filters. If you wanted it to be either or, as long as it had one of them, you can remove the checkbox from this. So from the columns, we have some options. Right now, the 3 defaults are in there: estimated cost, region, and status. But we can go through and add in some more. Let's add age since launch. And let's do EBS cost as well. Hit apply. Results to show. I don't want to limit it, so I'm just going to leave it blank. But if you did want to limit it to, say, the top 50 results, you can. And then for our sort by, let's go by age since loss, or age since launch, and keep it on ascending. And then for the summary chart, again, we get a bunch of options here depending on the resource. I will just go with instance type for the sake of this. And now I'm going to save the filter. I forgot to name it. It's blocked by the Zoom window. Sorry about that. So I'll call it JT test 2, one of my defaults there, and save it. Okay, so it reset, and now my report that I built, or filter I built, is right here under the custom report options. And now it is building out and populating the report for me. Okay, so now here is our report. So looks like my demo account here had some stopped instances, so not the most exciting of details, but we have how many instances there are, what the estimated cost is, and the 7-day average CPU. And then for my chart here, that I did narrow it down to just T3 small. That's the only thing that appears, but this is a pie chart. So if I had more types available, it'd be populated appropriately. So then we have the individual instances themselves, right? So we have the name of the instance, the HSense launch, the EBS cost, so the estimated cost of overall, the region that they are in, and their current status. And now that this is here, now that we're on this page, we can make some updates, right? We can change some filters, change some options, and update the current filter. But what's really great about this is we have this new email option. So now I can set this report to be sent out on a daily, weekly, or monthly cadence. And I can include a CSV export within that email. So effectively, once you build out these reports, now it can be emailed to you on a regular cadence. So that saves you some effort of having to log into CloudCheckr to pull up this report. It'll just be in your inbox waiting for you. So, and also you can put in multiple emails here, just separating them with a comma, so it can go out to the appropriate teams. Or if you're an MS service provider, it can go right to your customers as well. All right. Yeah, I'll jump back to my presentation and see if there are any questions. Okay, it looks like we have one so far, and okay, so is this available from a multi-account view? Yes, it is. So this can be done directly from a MAV in the same function. You can do it right through the inventory report itself or through the custom report builder. And then the next question is, can this be, can I pull in the filters from other areas of CloudCheckr? So I know with the advanced grouping report, right, you can use those saved filters in other places, like in generating an invoice and a few other reports as well, such as like tags, or not sorry, I just read the word tags, such as different alerts. But this particular filters, these can't be pulled in from other places. You build them per inventory resource. Okay, and then next question, will the recording documentation be available to participants? Yes, so within 24 or 48 hours, we will send out an email blast that will reach out to all participants with the recording of today's sessions. The documentation is already available within our Success Center, success.cloudcheckr.com. It's under custom inventory reports, or you can just search custom reports and it should be the top result. Another question, is this more of an inventory based versus advanced grouping is more cost focused? Yes. Yeah, these are strictly inventory reports. There is some cost in there, right? Like we showed the estimated cost for EC2 or for EBS and so on, but it's not truly a cost report. That's going to be advanced grouping. I've got another question. Are tags the best way to build the report, or should we manually build each report? I like using tags because my use case on this is being able to track a specific project, right? Ideally, you would have tagged and a solid tagging structure around that. So all resources related to that project are grouped together under it. But you don't have to use tags. One use case is maybe you want to track S3 buckets that have more than 1 million objects in them, and you would just go to the S3 filter and select total objects is greater than 1 million. And it will give you a report based on that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be based around tags. That's just kind of my go-to favorite. Great questions. Any others coming in? Just a minute. Got a question about having some issues sending out the schedule reports in GMT+2, often not at the time specified. I would need to look into this issue more. On the next slide, I'm going to have an email address. If you wouldn't mind just sending me an email, let me know, which company you're with and maybe which report you're having a problem with. I'd love to take a look into it a little bit further, and we can communicate that way. And so, all right. So speaking of that email address, right here on the next slide. So this is also for any future topics or any other questions that maybe we didn't get time to get through today. You can email customersuccess@cloudcheckr.com. That'll come to myself and my team, and we'll be able to answer as quickly as possible. You can also feel free to reach out to your account manager or technical account manager for any questions as well. Well, this time, thank you everyone for joining. I appreciate your time, and have a great day.